Got somebody. Let them all know. Okay, so I have one person. I'm not sure who's here and who's not here, and I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me this time and see me. I have all my buttons back, which usually helps me. That will be my sign something's wrong. Hopefully. Okay, so I have to figure something out. So I have two people. Okay, so one person. I'm sorry. I'm having technology issues tonight. It's driving me nuts. It really is. So I talked for a good 15 minutes and nobody was there. Sad. Was on the last stream. Who made it to this one? I'm trying to get to Facebook to post the link to the new video, but my computer. Okay, Elaine, yeah. So like I said, I'm trying to get to Facebook to post the link, but I don't want to push my computer too much. Problems with recording video as well as even audio. When you listen to the podcast that I just posted, there's a couple of times where it sounds like there's another voice over mine, but it's my voice. And I have no idea where that came from. They wouldn't let me remove it, but it's just another iteration of me having technology. I could move over. I wish I could post a link, but Facebook is just not happening tonight. Let's see. Share. Facebook. Let's see. Mm-hmm. I am trying to, it won't let me share it to the group, which is always lovely. God. Why? Why must we do this? So Elaine's having problems getting on. Who else is here? So Elaine's having problems getting on. I'm trying to, it won't let me link to it. Oh my goodness. Well, Elaine, you made it here. I don't know how to. It may just be the two of you because I can't get Facebook to come up, so I can't post anything else. So this is fun. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's way crazy. Way crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's just gonna be me. It's gonna be Eileen and Lori because I can't get the my technology to work. So I don't want to push it here. So I don't remember what I was saying. But I had been talking that whole time, and some of your comments were confusing to me, and now I know why. So sorry about that. Now I know when I don't have buttons on the top and I don't have buttons on the bottom that there's something wrong. So I was talking about where we are with the higher self integration for the month of March and what has been happening for me, and some of the things that I have seen in other people. So we are quickly approaching the solstice, which of course is rebirth time, right? Spring, finally. I think we might finally get spring back this weekend. It's been an interesting weather week. But the solstice is all about rebirth, and we've been in the build-up window to the solstice energy starting around 3/3. Yes, Michelle. I talked for a full 15 minutes and had no idea nobody could see me or hear me. It was quite the realization. But I'm sure there's a message in that, and there probably is something around it's hard for people to see me. So I'll be honest, it's more than just this month, but it's probably been for the last 5 years where I feel like I do a lot of talking and nobody's listening. So I probably have a block there that I need to address. But I will do that later. But from the higher self standpoint, as we enter this solstice energy this weekend, we are getting another large leap of time where we can potentially get some insight from our higher selves as to what is next for us. Now, you could totally integrate your higher self this weekend. I don't think it will happen for everyone. I think only the people that were assigned that date before birth are going to have that happen. And there's no definitive time. Like, you're not late if it doesn't happen. It's just not your time. And have integrated fully with their higher self. And now there's a new wave coming in between in March now, and then there'll be more waves coming behind that. And I don't think that there's a lot of separation of time between them. It used to be like, I don't know, years. You would get like a first wave, and then you might get another wave in 5 or 10 years. And then, but the time between the waves is shortening. And part of that is whatever your higher self and source agreed to before you were born, but also depending on what your role is, the people ahead of schedule on you are supposed to go first because they're the guinea pigs, if you will. That's who you're supposed to learn from so that you don't make the same mistakes as they are and that your transition is easier. So there's something to be said with going first, right? It's much like I'm the oldest child, right? My parents had no idea what it was like to raise a child, even though my mother was one of 5 children and she was the oldest girl. So she was pretty much a mother from a young age. It was still a different experience to have that first child. So in a way, this first iteration of higher self integrations is in that way, right? Experience because you've learned so much from the first one. So whoever goes in these first waves are going to be pretty much the people or leaders that help you get over some of the bumps so that it's easier transition for you. So don't be bummed if you're not one of the first liners, because in all honesty, it may be a little easier to come in behind because those people are going to be able to tell you what has been happening to them so you can prepare for it, not be surprised by it, and potentially help you through the hurdles of some of the growing pains that may happen as you work through this integration process. And for me, that's definitely been the case. I said yesterday, I said, God, I wish I had somebody to talk to about this, because I don't know anybody else who is going through something like this. And I've always, unfortunately, had that role, being the oldest child, as well as being the tallest child in my classes. I've always been kind of in a different place than other people. So that's where we're at. Now, I do believe that while the solstice energy, one, is already building in, it started to build in 7 days out. So it would have started to build in last weekend. And you'll have 7 days on the other for it to build out. So that brings you to the end of March. But then the following week, I know we have Passover and then Easter's behind it. So I do feel as though that rebirth energy will continue into early April. So you got time. There's no rush. I can say I want to just get through it, because these last couple of weeks have been very interesting for me, and the things that have happened in my body, things that have materialized, have been like, okay, enough with the breadcrumbs. Let's just freaking do this already. Like, let's get over this. And I am still having these inner battles between my conscious self and my higher self, because we're closer to being in alignment. But as of an hour or so ago, when I meditated, I wasn't still there. I was still like, okay, I just want your help here, but I don't want your help here. And I was compartmentalizing her. And she was very frustrated with me earlier because I wasn't letting her add her input. Now, she's not separate from me. She's a different version of me, if you will. And we all need to start to work with that piece of ourselves. So in the morning, I get up and I'm like, okay, I got to do these 5 things. These are the 5 things I have to get done today. And what I need to do is stop and say, okay, what are the 5 things that my higher self wants me to do today? Because your higher self knows what are the things that are going to get you to your goal the fastest. I'm just guessing. And right now I know that I'm all over the place. And I'm sure people who watch this and listen to my podcast can potentially know, because I have a lot of balls in the air right now. And they don't want me to be so scattered. But I've been in this mode for so long that it feels weird to me to kind of back out of it. And I know that's what they're asking me to do, to be more purposeful on the content I put out, not just because I'm supposed to. So that is where I'm going. I've had several dreams. I haven't had one in a couple of days, and I think it's just because of the stuff I've been working through, where I swear to you, it's like a different version of myself is working in an entirely new dimension. It's hard to even explain it. I've been in situations in dreams that were so real, and I was definitely doing things I have never done in this lifetime. I've read full manuscripts about hieroglyphs. I've read full manuscripts on past history stuff, books I don't even have. And I can see the print, and I'm reading. And being that I can remember it, it's connected somehow. So I kept asking, okay, this version of me is connected to me, and she seems to be more involved in where I'm supposed to be going, right? She is the next iteration of me. This is what this higher self version is. And I kept asking, I was like, what do I need to do in order to align with that? Because this like sidelining thing where I go through what I am now and where she is, like, I want to be in some semblance of that. Show me how to get there. But I had blocks in my sacral chakra that were preventing me from getting there. And I had something else I can't remember that I cleared. And you have to pay attention to your dreams, because I have never experienced this before. I have had obviously very vivid dreams. We've all had vivid dreams, but this was literally like I had a body double and somewhere else. And I would wake up in this body. And then when I would go to sleep, I would be in that body. I was like, okay, so if that's my higher self, or the next version of myself, how do I make them one? And that's what we're going through. Like, how do we bridge the gap between the two so that I don't feel like I'm living dual lives, because that's definitely where I am right now. I feel like in dream time, I'm entirely a different person than I am here. Now, some of the things and some of the other content that will come behind it is aligned with what I'm seeing. There's a part of me that wants to know how I get to that, because I feel like there's a long, long, long road between where I am now and where this other version of myself is. And I don't see the logical path there. Now, again, I think the videos that I'm being strongly guided to do, where I started with the Lady Liberty one that I posted, I think Sunday, is the start of that for me to share that more. I've talked to people who are excited about talking to some of the people that I've been channeling over the last year to help them heal, to be able to ask questions. So I know that's part of it, but yet I still want to be almost like, I don't know, like jump to there. And I know it's close. It's not far away. I'm talking less than a year, but it's still like, how do I get there? And that's your analytical self is like, okay, unknown. And it's scary as all hell, because we like to know where the hell we're going, at least to know what we're going to get out of it. And in this, we don't. I have an idea as to where it's leading me because of where my higher self is living in this other timeline or dimension. But I don't know how I get there. And we're all going through this. If you're not getting windows into who your higher self is and where she wants you to go, that's okay too. I think some of us are, maybe this isn't your iteration, and you can muscle test that, of course, and you'll come in a later wave. But for those of us who are primed to go now, this is some of the stuff that's happening. And this eventually will happen to everyone. Even those that you think couldn't possibly go through this will. And it's not scary. It's a bit frustrating because I'm like, I got it. I got through it. Damn it, I got through it. And then I'm having to shift away from so much stuff that I've been being called to do before, and simplifying things and focusing on things that maybe I've been hiding a bit. Elaine, you're welcome. And I know this is part of why I'm supposed to be doing this, and why I was pretty much given a year to sit in a Facebook group and talk to some of you and not be in public before they started to guide me to do videos on channeling the energy of Lady Liberty, allowing Metatron's input to come through, or talk to the soul of the nation, because that is something that I do, and people seem to want to know, and they want to connect. The jump between this idea that something like the Statue of Liberty has some type of soul essence you can talk to. And because of my theta healing background, you learn that everything has an essence. This, I know this seems crazy to me, but this, what is this, a measuring cup, has energy you could talk to. Just like the house, you could talk to your house, you could talk to your car. They all have an essence. Everything is energy. And just because it doesn't talk to us doesn't mean that you couldn't persuade it and find out like what it needs. Yes, I totally understand that that's what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to wake up one day and it's just going to happen. But there's a patience thing here, right? It's like, okay, so I keep going, where do I get to not have to work so hard? And they're like, it's coming, but you just got to keep going. And it's just like, okay. And I think it's worse because I can see this other version of myself. And like I said, I haven't seen her in a night or two. Around the new moon, I saw her and it's kind of dissipated, but I sense it will pick up as I move into the solstice. Once you start to see your higher self and what she's doing or he or she is doing, and it just seems like an easier life than what you have now, it really puts patience in mode, because you want to be there. You don't know how far the runway is between where you are now and to where you're getting now. And you don't know how you're going to get there. And it's just this one, trust and patience. And patience sometimes is like that. I say it's a 4-letter word in the spiritual community because people hate to hear it, or divine timing, because it means that you have to wait. And some of us really want to keep going, keep going, keep going. Again, is that me? Am I having connection problems again, or is it just you? Or is it you? It is raining. The energy is really crazy right now. It's commented, so I don't know. I hope I'm still here. If not, I'm going to keep talking and hopefully it will figure itself. Well, no one else is commenting. Is anyone else here? Is Elaine only, is it just me and Elaine at this point? Or can you not hear me anymore? Awesome. Thank you, Denise. It could be, it could be, it could be. Okay. So, I've obviously had some technology issues. For those that you think it's you, it's not. I've been having technology issues for like 3 days, and I'm the technology person. Like, I do this as a living. I help other people with technology. So when this stuff happens, I know that there's a lot of energy around me. Like I said, I recorded a podcast yesterday. When I listened back today, there were pieces of it where it sounded like there was was my voice that was talking behind sections. It was so weird. And I kept saying, should I remove that? And I heard, no. There was something else coming through. So I don't know if that was technology or whether it was just, I don't know, something else coming through. And then last night when I tried to record a video, there was so much static energy around me. I just thought, I don't know how this is going to work, but it's not you. Yes, I got that. Alilan, I'm sorry. I know you do accounting, so I know that's you. If it's breaking up, it's internet. There isn't anything that I can fix on my side. My voice and my feedback is in sync. And usually when I'm having internet issues, there's a delay between what I speak and what I see on the screen. And I'm not seeing that anymore. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a disconnect somewhere between you and me, or you and YouTube. It's more like you and YouTube. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the higher self, the whole higher self integration that we're going through. And, whatever stage you're in is the stage you're supposed to be in. There are definitely some of us who are going through the last stages of this. And it's been an interesting process. I know what I was talking about. I was talking about the fact that I feel like I have a body double in another dimension. And I've never felt that before. And it's only been through this last couple of weeks since I had that dream on 3/3 where I was shown what I'm supposed to be doing, which is totally in left field for me, that I have this iteration of me when I dream that is doing things that are tied to what I saw in that 3/3 video already. And I was trying to figure out what I have to do. What is it that I have to do in order to merge the two? Or how do I get to that? And of course, that's your analytical mind getting in the way of the process or path that you could be getting and breaking up. I don't know what's happening. Between now and next week, I'm going to have my husband look at my computer because maybe, just maybe, there's something that is awry. Let's see. Okay, awesome. So as we move through the solstice, which is on Sunday, and again, I don't know who heard what and who didn't, because I know we had some people come in late because the other stream, I couldn't end it. So you guys couldn't hear or see me, and I didn't have any way to end it. So it could still be going on for all the hell I know. That or saying your connection is unstable. So there's definitely some energy awry. I'm just trying to do the best I can. It is what it is. While spending several days with my grandson, I found myself incorporating Kabbalah, trying to message. Okay. So as we go through this process, I think the technology stuff is interesting, because as we upgrade, our energy will affect technology differently. And my little thing is spinning, so it is doing something. It's still recording video and audio, and I don't want to touch anything. I'm just going to let it do its thing. It just keeps telling me my connection's unstable, so I apologize. Okay, so we're just going to do an energy reading and see where that goes. I do have some things that are coming up. I am starting to teach classes again. I haven't been doing that for a long time. So if you are not on my email list, you changed how they set up events, and I can no longer invite people who have liked my page. I can only invite if you're friends. So if you're not a friend, I can't invite you to any of the events that I post on my Facebook business page. I will send them all out in email so that you'll know. So the first one is Ancestral Healing, which is on Tuesday, March 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's limited to 10 people to make sure that in that. Good night, Michelle. If you're interested in that, it's in my Facebook business page, and there will be an email going out about it. The following week, I don't have a date. It will probably be that you will be able to ask questions to Lady Liberty, Founding Fathers, and the Soul of the Nation. And then I'm going to start teaching Theta Healing online, which is a whole other thing. So if you're interested in learning how to dispel emotions of fear, anxiety, guilt, and resentment from yourself, that's an awesome class. And I am going to offer payment plans to make it easier for people. So I'm going to do an energy reading, and we're going to go from there. I have a new podcast as well, which I just posted today. I also found out that I was accepted to be on Pandora, so it's now okay. We're going to make this quick. I have no idea what is going to happen with internet connection tonight. So weird. Well, I thank you for ever sticking by this technology hiccup I seem to be having. I can tell, like, the camera is flickering and there's just a lot of energy. Maybe I need to not call in all the people I did. I know you're here. I just know that my computer is acting like it's a little stuttery. So there's definitely potential for issues with viewing when that happens. 21. So the first card is Field of Dreams, which is a really cool card. We are coming into the solstice, so this is the time for you. You know, a lot of people talk about doing intentions on January 1st. Like, what are your goals for 2021 on January 1st? But based on previous calendars that were used before, certain religions totally mucked up the truth of, say, who Jesus, when things really happen. One of the things that they changed is when the New Year actually was, and there were calendars that the Egyptians used, as well as the Mayans, as well as pagans that used the solstice date as actually the first day of the new year. So we've kind of been in a 3-month window between 2020 and 2021. And it wasn't until mid-February where the 2021 shadow started to brush off and we started to build in the 2021 energy. So we'll hit that first peak birth date of 2021 this weekend. Now, this card, Field of Dreams, is 21, which of course is another not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for your talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to a share others. So reap what you have sown. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, tend to the garden of your life, and experience the extraordinary this weekend. Huge energies. And it's such a beautiful window. You know, the same things that all those rituals that people do for January 1st should be done now. Ourselves first, and then the collective will change as we change. So what do you see for yourself? Don't focus too much on what you want the out there to look like. Focus on your conscious self. You create your world based on how you feel about your possibilities, how you feel about the possibility of not experiencing lack in your life anymore, the experience of having easily attract the opportunities and the people that are exactly right for you. Being able to merrily skip along and know that it's all just happening because you're aligned with it without you having to do anything. That all starts with you. It doesn't start with anyone else, no matter what they're doing. That's their path. And even if you don't think so, their higher self is working with them as well. And they all have their own lessons and their own seeds to plant. So what are you energy towards for this energy of 2021 that's going to come in, they're saying, with fireworks this weekend? And they don't mean that there's going to be some explosion. It just means it's that excitement, that excitement, that birth energy. What do you want to rebirth into this 2021 energy? In a way, you're getting a second chance. If you didn't do it on January 1st, you can do it now. And it's more potent now than it was then, because you still were in the 2020 energy. This whole idea that we hit January 1st and we just roll over into 2021 energy or the next year doesn't work. There's a shadow energy, and then there's a build-in of the new year. Some of the holidays in Judaism, and I'm sure in others, should be less about the trauma and hurt from the past and more about the celebration of life. You can, of course, recognize and remember the people who sacrificed or maybe passed during that time. But in order to move forward, you have to also look at what's great. What are you grateful for since then? What has changed since then? So that you can manifest more proof of that instead of the suffering and sacrifice that many cultures have. So the second card is coming together. I love this card. Now it was upside down though. But it's the giraffe. Giraffes are dragon energy to me. This is when the come together card appears reversed. It is a sign that perhaps a love connection is unbalanced. Is intimacy being withheld from you, or are you withholding it from another? Longing and yearning are often mistaken for love, when in fact they are signs of lack. Perhaps you've been doing all the emotional work and pouring your water into an empty well to the point that now you are also depleted. Know this, true love will not be denied. What is truly for you will never walk past you or require this much energy. Drop the agendas, the fight, the need to win, and allow love to flow through you True love will always find its reflection in another. While this card focuses on love partnerships, it's about us. We always get all these messages, and people think it's, oh, love partnership with someone else, or relationships with friends. But the one relationship we all seem to forget is the relationship we have with ourselves. So where are you working really hard and not getting anywhere? I can make a list of that. And I know for myself that I'm being asked to give up that fight and that struggle. And I am having to where I want to go without working so hard. And when you're in that cycle for so long, it's hard. When we change the thinking of those around us in a way that plants special seeds in the best. My 6 and 8-year-old grandsons were good examples the other day. That's awesome. Word on finding a relationship. It's about self-love. And even finding a loving relationship starts with you. You have to love yourself first before someone else will love you. You know, that's a common saying. But where is it? They stopped me. They said it's not just about self-love. There's another relationship. It's your higher self. And the agendas that you have are not necessarily the same agenda she has or he has. I know for a fact that is definitely the case for myself. So when we try to just push through the motions, keep the gears moving, and we don't say, listen, can you just give me 5 minutes so I can tell you what you should focus on, and the rest is just put off to the side. Some of it you may do again, some of it you may not. I do have a lot of things to teach. Dating online was something that I have been thinking about doing for 6 to 9 months. And the other day I heard time bell. So that came about. There's another level, Amanda Ellis's courses that I've been putting off. And I got the Not So Gentle nudge to do that as well. And these are things that I had in my toolbox at all. They were not things I was thinking about at all. But it's obvious that my higher self wants them. So we're not trying to find this coming together card is not about you finding something else. And in that, building a stronger and stronger relationship with your higher self, who is very much trying to help you have the best life with the most ease. Don't you want that? A bumpy past since I published my book, and I just, like, come on. I'm like, I feel like I need to have a wheelbarrow or something. Someone else can take me over the line, because I'm just, sometimes very tired. But they keep edging me forward, so I keep doing it. This last card is encouragement. And this, of course, is the mother and child relationship. And in a way, your higher self sees you as the child. Your higher self is trying to guide you, trying to encourage you to break away from the things that aren't serving you anymore. And sometimes those things are easy, and then sometimes they're really hard because they're things that you've just been doing so long that it seems unnatural for you to do it yourself, or you're afraid of what would happen if you did. So, for an instance, tonight I had to close an account for something that I've had on the list again for a long, long time, and I've not done it. And I had all this fear come up about doing it. And when the guy told me how much they were going to prorate a refund, it was $77.33. And the fear went away, because the double numbers, 3-3, of course, is Christ consciousness. And then 7-7 is my numerology for my birthday. And I knew in that moment that there was no coincidence that the refund was those numbers, and that the universe was telling me that I was safe, that I'm going to be okay, even though I closed this account. And it's just, we need to stop being so critical, not just of ourselves, but of what information we're getting from our higher self and our unseen friends at this point in source, because they're trying to get us all on a whole new track, a whole new train track. I talked about this last week, how this train's coming into the station, and some of us are coming to whatever they call that, the staging area. And many of us are trying to bring all this baggage with us because we want to bring it with us. And a lot of that can't be brought with us. It's not what is part of us. We need to let it go. So this is part of that. Your higher self knows what baggage energetically you're still carrying. And this is, cleaning out your closets for stuff that you have in boxes that you haven't touched in 5 years. This could be, I went through stuff. I had paychecks back from when I was in college. Like, that's holding energy for stuff that is not moving energy anymore. So it's that, like, you gotta let that stuff go. And if you feel that need, that's what's happening. There's this clearing going on so that your higher self can bring in different things and make space for it. But it's tiring. I go to bed at night and I think, okay, I got this. I have a dream, and I wake up and I go, like the other night, or even last night. So I had one dream this week where I was in some type of, I don't remember it all. I've seen this before. I'm like in some type of building, and I'm overseeing like a village, if you will. But it was winter. But I was in a building this time, and there was what looked like a fire really far away. And then, I don't know, something made me look out the window, and the fire was literally across the street. And then when I turned around, all the buildings around me were on fire. And I've always had a large fear of fire. So this, of course, woke me up. Now, this fire was it was red. Like, think fire engine red. Most fire is not that color. It's like an orange. So there's a message in that. So I had root chakra work to do, and it was like all my safety structures were being broken down around me, and that was what being shown. But you got to keep going. Every morning I wake up and think, okay, so what is it today that I have to work through? And it can be tiring, and you just need to be able to work through that. Now, there's something else that's happened beyond this other dream that I'll share. So last night, I for sure had a dream about being trapped in a matrix. Now, if you dream about parking lots, malls, anything that has multiple levels, you could be stuck in a matrix that you have created for yourself. And this could be things like a matrix tied to lack or grief or loss, or I forgot what it was from last night. Oh, it was this place that I had put myself so I wouldn't allow more of my higher self to come through. Like, it was jail, so I wouldn't let more of my higher self come through, and I had to work through that. But if you dream of that stuff where you just feel like you're in a maze and you can't get out, it's a good sign that your higher self is trying to tell you that you're stuck in this cycle, this spinning cycle. Like, if you think of like the rat maze, right? And it's up to you to figure out where the door is. And every one of those has the door, and your higher self knows where they are. But in order to get there, you have to be willing to maybe let something go or face something about yourself. So if you're having those dreams, that's what it could be. I definitely dream with matrices as parking lots, multi-level parking lots that don't seem to have any end, no matter whether I go up or down. But I also know people who see them as malls. So anything that's multi-level could serve that way. But this building I was in was a matrix, and I was seeing everything burn down around me. So when you have those dreams, your subconscious and your higher self is trying to tell you that there's something blocking you from being able to move forward. And you need to at least write them down. And if you don't understand what they mean, ask somebody who can help you translate what your dream means. You could post that in the Facebook group, or you could post it in a comment like below this, and I could help you. because it's important right now for you to get those cues. Your higher self is so communicating with you in ways that may seem odd, but know that he or she is, and they very much want to get this through. So the other thing that has happened for me is when I learned theta healing years and years ago, the teacher would always say, you would say the command and you would say from a highest and best good with grace and ease on everything. And I forgot why she explained that. And they told me that by doing that, I was actually slowing down my progress, that I was preventing it from going at the speed that's actually best for me. And I was asking for them to slow it down. So my higher self wants to be on, like, you know, the old radio dial wants to be on a 10, and I was running on a 2. And of course, part of me wants to be at 10. So I asked them to go to 5. And I know last night they moved me to an 8. So a lot of things are happening all at once for me because I have asked to go faster. We'll see if I regret that or not. We'll see where that goes. But you have control of how fast this goes. So I don't say with grace and ease anymore. I actually say at the speed that is for my highest and best good. And then, well, that was interesting. Was there lightning? No. Okay. So that was interesting. Like a big flash of light behind my microphone. Now, I've moved my room around entirely for anybody who's been here. It is not near the window. Yes, drop the grace and ease, because they said to me that I was slowing myself down. Now, you can use it if it's something that scares you. You should probably use it, but they're saying to me, can you just try it? Can you try it on without it and see if it helps? That's all they're asking for. And the light that I saw flash was Thoth. So he'll come through after I do this reading. Okay, so we're going to do a reading for after the equinox. And pay attention, if you're seeing flashes, more and more I see flashes of orbs, flashes of movement around me with my eyes closed or not. Make sure you're asking who's there. If that's the case, you probably have either a higher self, ancestor, or messenger who's trying to assist you with something. The veil between worlds is very, very thin. And of course that happens around Halloween, but it's just getting thin in general as we move into these higher dimensions. Think of it like as you go up in elevation, the air gets thinner. It's the same type of idea. There is one thing that I'm going to do cards for next week after the solstice, but there is one thing that I want to mention because it's something that I've been seeing a lot of lately, and I don't know why. If you use a pendulum to muscle test specifically, please, please, please ask. First of all, make sure it does it's yes and no thing, right? But also first ask if it will tell you the truth, or you can actually ask it, is my pendulum lying to me? I've been having a lot of clients lately that the pendulum actually will tell them that it will lie to them. And it's either giving them messed up answers or they're sending them on a wild goose chase. And you never seem to feel like you're getting anywhere. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, in order to truly use a pendulum, you have to be grounded. You have to be grounded. Your energy is all scattered, so you're going to get scattered answers. And your ego is going to use that to its advantage to give you all this nonsensical answers so you don't know what the answer is and for you to give up because it doesn't want you to find the answer and change it if it's not something that is working for your highest and best good. And when you ask the pendulum, it has to come from your heart space. It's not a head thing. It's not, I'm asking from up here. You have to allow yourself to be centered in your heart space. You have to make sure you're grounded into Mother Earth before you start to use it. So if you ask it, is my pendulum going to lie to me? And you get yes, then you need to do those exercises. Ask it again. Is my pendulum going to lie to me now? And if you get no, now you can continue. Know that you might still get a yes. There seems to be some type of consciousness thing going on where people, because we're moving into these higher dimensions, we're being asked to really face some deep, dark stuff about ourselves. And our egos would love, love, love for us not to find this stuff. So one of the other things that's happening is that it's lying to you because it doesn't want you to know the truth. This is why you need to ask first if it will tell you the truth. And if it doesn't, then you need to do the grounding and the heart exercises. And if you still get no, you have digging work to do to figure out what is it in your past that is preventing you from getting true answers with your pendulum. Or you use your body pendulum, you need to be asking that question. Unless you truly have worked out a great relationship with your you at this, and you don't feel like your pendulum's really giving you what you want, that could be why. And from my experience, the ones that I had 2 clients this week that had this. This is why it's coming up. And it's all past life stuff. So there actually might have been 3. So if you find that your pendulum just sends you on a wild goose chase, you need to ask if it's lying to you. And then if it is, ground and ask from the heart space. And then if you still get it is lying to you, ask if it's because of a past life issue. You're welcome. Eileen, you should be good, but it can still happen. And it's just a good practice to make sure that you're where you need to do to ask questions. Okay. When they first asked that question, what? But unfortunately, it was true. I had never really thought of that before. Was there like heavy rain that came through? It seems to have worked its way out, which is good. Still got that card. I put that card away and it wouldn't let me. So this is the energy after this is rescue, which was upside down. I always get no one is coming to rescue us, so not sure what that's about. Are you trying to rescue another? Do you believe your love can change someone and miraculously heal this person? Or are you waiting to be rescued? Do you believe that someone will sweep you off your feet and take away all of your troubles? Reverse, the rescue card cautions you like it to be. You need to step back and rescue yourself. Trust that spirit will guide you to expose the illusion so that you may discern the difference between truth and fantasy. Right now, we came here to save ourselves. The Christ consciousness energy is coming through all of us, and it's up to each of us to learn how to harness that and understand how it is that we're supposed to live our lives once it is there. The other thing that I'm being shown is we have to be really careful about wanting to rescue others. We're in this who are still in the middle of the field and they don't even know which way they're running. They don't even know way the wind's blowing. They don't know to point them in one direction and have them run into one end zone. They're higher like Titanic. And there's all these people in lifeboats that are in the water going away from the boat. And there's people in the water swimming. But there's many people that are in the water that are turning around and trying to get the attention of the people that are on the boat who are oblivious. You have to show them that there's an easier way to live, that there's a higher way to live. There's an easier way to have abundance. There's an easier way to manifest your dreams, the love, the confidence. And this energy that's going to come in this renewal energy for all, we have to let people, they're saying we have to let people fail. And I think they mean by that is we're not in this transition zone. That failure could be their switch to remember who they are and why they're here. When we try to they're saying overprotect or try to steer their ship for them, they miss the ability to see something from an entirely different perspective or learn a lesson that their soul came to learn. And then they miss that opportunity because you try to intervene. Persuade people. We have to allow them to step where they may. And it may be hard to watch, especially with family members, to see them do this. There's not one way. That's the other thing. Like this idea that there's only one way for you to merge with your higher self or for you to get to a higher dimension is complete BS. Your higher self could have a totally different path. Like they could run into the other end zone and you go in one end zone and you can end up in the same place in the end. It's just that side open. And this is about what are you open to receiving? We're moving into new energy. You swim away from having to take people with you who are not ready to do the work or to acknowledge what is happening to them from a higher perspective. And in that energy, what are you open to receiving? There's this giant, bountiful abundance that's coming for all of us. And she's standing with her heart open. It's not a head thing. It's a heart thing. What is your heart open to receive? So, write the intentions, have that put up, but also be willing to receive more than you can imagine. So one of the things I teach in Theta, I always say, Creator of all it is commanded that I receive A or better. Because just because you can't imagine it doesn't mean that you couldn't get something better. Maybe only receiving $1,000 feels comfortable to you, but maybe Source was going to deliver you $5,000. Which would you rather have? Just because you can't imagine receiving that dollar amount doesn't mean it's not possible. So make sure you're not cutting yourself short. I always say, ask, when you do manifesting, show you what is truly possible. And this is the card that I put back in the deck because I didn't want it to be so. And then it returned again. This is Storm Fields. It was upside down. I was really hoping as we went through the solstice energy that there would be a calming energy, but it appears not. It just doesn't. Now is not the time to engage in any activity that brings unwanted chaos or drama into your life. This kind of storm can be destructive, and you'll regret your actions later. Hurtful words will be carried on the wind, bringing a tornado of betrayal, anger, and unnecessary angst. Find shelter. This turbulent weather will pass, and your house will be untouched. Say no to drama. Wait till the storm blows over. Only then will you be heard. So there's a transitional energy beyond this solstice. We have the ability to ground in new possibilities and opportunities, but we still have this gray area, this rescue energy, and then the storm fields. Now, the storm fields could be in your life or it can be in the collective. It could be both. It just depends on where you can know what's happening without being emotionally involved. That's what they want. Be like, okay, what's happening now? And this is partially the truth, right? What is happening now in the world stage is based on previous actions. They want you to focus on the solstice, that you're planting new seeds that will bloom in a couple of weeks. And they teach this when people are working on manifesting money, is when you look at your bank account, know that that's because of your past choices, not your now choices. So what you're seeing on the world stage or in the country is based on past choices, not today's choices. So they want you to not get involved in the drama so that you're planting new seeds for something different to show up in a week or two. Or days, depending on how fast your higher self works. So I'll let Thoth through and see why he's here. So you're all going to get something. He doesn't really have a message. He's handing me what looks like a scroll. And he's saying it's the activation codes for the higher dimensional version of you. He's saying that some of the codes that are required for you to activate this portion of yourself have been removed from your DNA programming. So it's hard for some people to be able to make this connection to their higher self. It's like they're trying to get all the colors on a Rubik's Cube to match, but you're missing some of the panels. So you just can't get there. So this scroll that he's handing me is an activation for you to be able to reconnect the neural pathways that will allow you to more deeply connect to your higher self. So this activation and integration process can happen more smoothly and with more ease. So if you want, I want you to imagine that he's standing in front of you. Now, how he shows up to you is really how he shows up to you in general. And he can show up in many ways. Some people see him as a baboon. I just see him as an angel. Some people see him as an Egyptian god with an ibis bird head. Maybe you just feel him. Maybe you just sense a color. In his hands, he holds a scroll with this really cute red ribbon wrapped around it. If you want to receive these activation codes to fill in the gaps of programming that has been lost through degeneration of your genetics, so that you can more easily activate this connection to your higher self and remember who you are, then take the scroll from Thoth. For starters, just hold it in your hands. Allow yourself to unfold the scroll. Unroll. Or maybe short, it doesn't matter. You may or may not see anything on the scroll, but know that energetically, the right codes that are needed to upgrade you to this point are there. And I want you to say to yourself, I'm ready to receive the codes that will allow my DNA to be upgraded or brought back to my original blueprint so I can remember the easiest route to activate the integration of my higher self into my life with grace and ease. And as you say that, I want you to imagine that paper starts to twinkle into tiny bits of stardust. Stardust starts to rise up above you. So it's just above your head. And then with your breath, I want you to breathe in that stardust into your crown chakra, allowing it to fill and light up your crown chakra, activating those worn out, damaged neural pathways. And now bring that down into your third eye, breathing it down into your third eye. allowing the same to occur. I'll breathe it down into your physical eyes. Your eyes might just start to move like you're in REM, and that's normal. Then breathe that stardust down into your ears. You may feel pressure or have pressure changes or buzzing. You're just hearing the energy. Now breathe that stardust into your nose, allowing your psychic sense of smell to lighten up. And now with your breath, bring it down into your mouth. Allow it to fill your teeth and your tongue, raising the vibration in your mouth so that the words that leave your mouth are the highest vibration for you and those who are open to receive them. And now breathe that starry stardust down into your throat chakra, allowing it to truth in its purpose. Bring that stardust down into your heart chakra, allowing it to expand with your breath. You may start to feel the stardust start to travel down your arms. So breathe into that process so you start to get it all the way down your arms so you can feel it in your hands and your fingertips. Stardust into your solar plexus, just below your ribs. Allowing the solar plexus to remember its true purpose. Bring that stardust with your breath down into your sacral chakra to fill the creative womb, waiting to be reborn and acknowledged. in wisdom and codes into your root chakra, allowing it to feel the safety that is needed for you to bring all that is being awakened into your world. Toes. You may feel pulsation in your feet when it gets there. Allow that starry light to come out of the bottoms of your feet and grow roots down into Mother Earth, grounding this energy of your original blueprint. Allowing Mother Earth to remember the true essence of you. She eagerly calls forth the people, experience, and opportunities for you to live in this when you feel that process is done, I want you to move your feet around, feel your feet on the ground, move your hands around, maybe shake them around a bit, just to get the energy into the places, the nooks and crannies, if you will. When you feel like you're back in your body, just let me know in the chat that you're back so I know where to go from here. And finish out Thoth's message. Awesome, thank you. Awesome. Yes, lots and lots of energy. And it's, even though you're back, it's still integrating, it's awakening all those dormant cells and dormant, it's filling in the holes. I can see it like a chain link fence, if you will. It's filling in all the holes so that the leap between, say, one DNA molecule isn't as large, and there's this bridge or highway between the two that's supposed to be there. And you all got the activation that was right for you. We didn't all get the same one. We got whatever your higher self via Thoth wanted you to receive today. If you find yourself tired after that, make sure you're grounded. Sleep cycle also will be required to truly integrate and activate all of that. But if you find yourself tired at first, you just may need to ground. Okay, so we have one more card thing, and then we're going to do dragons, I think. So I asked Thoth if there was anything else, and he just said, I wanted to thank you for being willing to do that without knowing what that will bring for you. So in that, you just took a giant leap of faith and trust that your higher self with Thoth just gave you the codes so you can jump farther into your journey to unknown. So I want you to pat yourself on the back for that, because that was a big deal. You don't know what those codes will activate in you, what psychic gifts it might have activated for you in that moment, or what knowledge you'll remember. So awesome job. Interesting. I never know. Like, I didn't expect him to show up. He was not somebody who said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to come through tonight." So last week before I did this, Archangel Metatron was like, "I'm coming through." So he wanted me to have his cards. And I didn't get any notion that Thoth was going to come in tonight. But when I saw that flash of light, that's who it was. So that's really cool. Thank you. Cool. Yes, theta healing really gets you into that place. Now, if I could learn how to lucid dream on command, and so I know to pay attention. So when I get up, they wake me up. I don't just go to use the bathroom and then go back to sleep and not remember them, right? Okay, so we're going to do 2 cards they're saying from this Magical Dimension deck from Starlight. And we'll see what those are, and then we'll do dragons. I think it depends on because people say that about Thoth, but he's never been that for me. He's been tough. I mean, there's been times when he's just like, no, I'm not going to budge. Like, you need to do this. But he was the first guide that I even knew I had around me. I had gone to a Crystal Bowl concert in a New Age store in the area. And after the class was over, someone came up to me and said, you have this male presence around you. And I was like, what? This was before theta healing. This was before any of that. So I had no idea. This was a totally new world for me. And she spelled out his name, Thoth. And I'd never heard of that before. And when I connected to him, he's been there lockstep. So, it depends on, I guess, what his assignment is for you, right? They're all here to teach us something. So if he's having tricky energy, maybe there's something in that he's trying to assist you with. He has been tough. There are moments when he's been tough, and not in a bad way. Think of it like just, no. And being that I work pretty much with the Egyptian pantheon all the time. I mean, Thoth, goddess Isis, goddess Mot, Skemet, Anubis. I'm always surrounded by somebody from the Egyptian pantheon, for sure. I got this card again. What the hell? I love it when we get the same cards over again, and it's, this is now energy. So much in this card, it's crazy. I laugh because these cards are like night and day, literally. Like, if I could have gotten the opposite for bowl, I don't really know. So this first card we got last week, which is challenges. On the bottom it says blocks, fears, and negativity and betrayal. There's still this energy around us of, they're saying other people's agendas and our expectation for certain results, when really that energy should be placed on yourself. In this, I don't know if you can see this in here, there's a male and a feminine, a male and a female energy. So there's the male energy is backwards, male energy is here, and then there's the female energy here. So there's still this battle between the masculine and feminine that's going on. And then there's all these other weird beings on the bottom that don't look great either. But we're still working on balance, and the balance is in us. This challenges, while you could probably look anywhere on the outside world and see challenges, those challenges are just mirrors of the challenges that we have within us that are preventing us from finding our balance. When we have balance inside of us, we will manifest balance outside of us. It's only when we're out of balance that do we manifest proof of the imbalance that is around us. And the world of balance and the world of imbalance already exists. It's just where your energy is aligning you. So this card is one talking about that, but there's also an energy of, and I keep hearing like, give up the fight. It's time to give up the fight. That's not the way forward. You've been fighting for thousands of years. We're going all the way back to Atlantis and Mu, which is even before Atlantis. And they're saying it's never worked. It's only brought the same thing over and over and over again. And all you get is trauma and fear from that then manifests over and over and over again. And they're asking us to trust that there's another way to do this. You get to choose. So before I put up this next card, you get to choose which pathway you're on. That's what these cards are. In this solstice energy, you get to choose if you're going to continue to walk, I hope this is not upside down, on the challenges pathways where you are still working through negativity, fear. It's always going to be there, but you are choosing to hang on to it instead of trying to work through it. Any fear, anger that comes up is a sign that something inside of you has been hurt somewhere that needs to be healed. Right? Or joy and inspiration. I don't have a router. I don't know what's wrong. I have to figure this out. I think it's my computer, but we'll figure this out next time. This is where your higher self wants you to go in this place, and you have the ability to choose to be there now. So in this solstice moment, where are you going? We got challenges or illumination. And they're saying the time has come now where you can't straddle the fence. You can't live in this world and hope someday you can get this world. You have to detach from one or the other. And you have to commit to whatever path you choose. And there's not one path that's right or wrong. Whatever's right for you. But this is where we're at. We get to choose whether we're going to stay on the challenges or we're going to align with illumination. It's an inside job. It's not anything outside of you. It's inside. And every moment you get to choose to see whether you're seeing fear or negativity, or if you're seeing positivity and joy, and know in every situation that exists. So that's what these cards are. Interesting. So I'm going to do dragons. I don't know what is going on, like I said, with my connection or the internet connection or my computer. Like I said, I've been having some technology issues. So I will be asking my husband, who is the hardware tech guy, to help me figure out why my computer seems to be having issues with video and audio, which is like a huge deal for me. So we are going to do dragons. I'm just going to move on to dragons. I'm not going to try to do anything else. Dragons, we have 3 dragons tonight. So pick your number and I will channel. Also, the other thing is it's raining here. It's raining hard, which may not be helping. I know that this storm has a lot of energy behind it. It's the one that's been causing all kinds of stuff across the country. Okay. Let's see. Dragon 1, Dragon 2. Who chose one? One. Two. Okay. Similar theme with y'all tonight. So this first card, we've seen him before. This is Morrowind. I think it's Morrowind. But he's got the Kabbalah Tree of Life. Morrowind. Morrowind. Sorry, I missed the thing. You are the power. Accept it as your own. Only you are the master of your destiny. He will open doors, put people or situations in your path, which will all lead you toward living your divine purpose. It is his responsibility to help guide you to fulfill the contract you made in spirit before coming to earth for this incarnation. His message is clear. Ignore him at your peril. You have a job to do, so let's get on with it. You have the tools and the knowledge you need. Your self-doubt hinders you. Your time is now. The world needs to see your light. Let it shine forth. Step into your heart, and we will take the journey together. I wonder if it's too late. Anyways. He also adds, your world requires more light to create the changes which are essential. I am your guide. Allow me to align your interpersonal matrix of inner light. Let it shine forth in the world. Together we can begin to connect the earth and the galactic matrix, anchoring it into the planet. Who chose one? Okay. Morrowind. He's I don't know what this is that he has. It looks like a Rolodex, I guess. But he's like going through, you know how the old Rolodex used to be, and you used to flip through it. And he's saying, not today, not today, not today, not today, not today. My message is simple. Stop waiting. If you're waiting for a perfect time, no, it will never come. It has already arrived. You must trust that your higher self knows what it is you're supposed to be doing, and it's not in the Rolodex. You must take the time to connect to your higher self so he or she can guide you into your next steps, or something that you just need to be doing for yourself. You have to remember that not all of you are assigned roles that you're supposed to assist other people. Some of you just came here for yourself. And while that might seem selfish, it's what your soul chose to do. And in every lifetime, your soul has a choice to choose to just live for itself and learn, or to help heal and lead the masses. But there'll never be a perfect time. That's a pipe dream. And all of that is fear. Your fear of being able to put one foot in front of the other and see where it leads. Do you not trust Spirit? Do you not trust me and your higher self and guides? That they will lead you where you're supposed to be going? And yes, in the times you're in, it might feel a little scary, a little rocking of the boat, as your higher self and I ask you to maybe do things that you haven't done before, or to say things that you haven't said before. But know that's what your soul came here for. Your soul certainly doesn't sit and wait for the Rolodex to say, today is the perfect day for me to go and do what my heart desires, what my heart calls for me to do. It's up to you to seize the day. And in the time you're in now, it's even more important, as this is what your soul signed up for. This time, where it can start to bear the fruits of your labor throughout your life. We know that these times can be a bit scary. But you have to believe that you're not alone. And if your guides and unseen friends aren't enough, find people around you that you can share this with so that you don't feel alone. There are millions of people who are going through the same thing as you. It might not look exactly the same, but in essence, they're going through the same thing that will all lead to the same result. How you get there and what path you take may be different, but yet the same. Can you put away the Rolodex? Can you claim today that starting tomorrow or right now, you're going to allow your higher self to guide you? You're going to follow the intuition, no matter how scary it might be. Everyone has fear. It's part of the human experience. There are people who professionally do things for a living, say speaking on stage, who have fear just before they step on stage. And they're professionals. It's just part of the human experience. The difference between them and you is they don't let fear stop them. They do it anyway. Sure, you might shock some people with the things that you do or say. But that's part of your growth experience, to get past worrying about other people's judgments of you. Allowing yourself to live small for fear of what someone else might say or do to you. If you believe you're protected, then that's all that matters. Now I'm seeing a library catalog. Now this goes way back. They don't have these anymore, I don't think. But when I was a kid, they had these drawers at the library you would have to pull out, and you would find different books in the different aisles, and it would have a number on it, and you would have to go find the aisle with the book number. He took out what they look like little cards. He took out an index card, and he's offering it to you. He's saying it's the book about how to be you've forgotten. This is not a book that you can physically find in a library. It's a book in your Akashic records that you need to remember. And I'm asking for you to borrow it from your library as an energy activation so you can remember part of the purpose that you came here for right now. Now, if you allow that in this moment by just making the intention to receive it, know this dragon will allow yourselves to integrate it for your highest and best good. And give your higher self and your unseen friends permission to allow them to show you and help you remember what it is in that book that your dragon wants you to remember about yourself and what it is you're supposed to be doing for yourself or someone else. It doesn't matter. Okay. So the next two cards are very similar. So the second card is confidence. This is about worthiness. They're so funny with their analogies. I see what looks like a carnival that I would go to as a kid, and there's all these rides spinning around me and this dragon. There's all these people obviously having fun on all these different rides. Some go round and round, some go up and down. Some are for children, some are for adults. You hear the popping of balloons at game booths. And the dragon is saying, he's turning to you and saying, don't you want to experience what all these other people are experiencing? The laughter, the fun, the adventure, the moment of peace. I'm handing you the tickets. All these rides that surround you are all your struggles with worthiness that keep all the stuff away from you that are bringing these other people joy, happiness, and bliss. Maybe you don't feel worthy of it, or maybe it's something you're being guided to that scares you to death. Maybe instead of going on the children's ride, Spirit is asking you to ride the Ring of Fire. But here's the thing, you're not even riding that kid ride anymore. You got off and you're standing in front of that Ring of Fire, making excuses why you can't get on. It's not even a ring of fire. It's only your perception that it's a ring of fire. Instead, it's whatever ride that you would find fun and exciting. But your fear makes it into the ring of fire, and it prevents you from getting on. Allowing Spirit and your unseen friends to see how joyful a ride it could be if you allowed yourself to be confident enough in your ability to ride that ride with pure bliss. Not holding on to the bars, hands in the air, as you allow Spirit and your unseen friends to guide you to all that you were meant for. Confidence or lack of confidence in yourself is all that prevents you from having it. So I, the confidence dragon, is standing in front of you with tickets, 5 tickets for you to ride a ride in this amusement park. I don't care which one you choose. You've been standing on the sidelines, waiting behind the white guardrail while everyone else spins on the ride and has fun, screams out in joy and laughter, waiting for when it's your turn. Your turn is now. Your turn has always been here. It's only your fear of what may become or what people might see in you if you were to allow yourself to be that free, to be that confident, to be that joyful. Or maybe you're afraid someone might think that you're too much, that you're too happy or too joyful. I want you to remember that they have their own amusement park and it's up to them to choose what rides they ride, and they don't get to tell you what rides you shouldn't ride. You want me to hold your hand? I'll take you on your first ride, and it won't be the ring of fire because that is not what your path looks like. Maybe it's more subtle. Maybe it's the fun house on the other side. You just get to wing it and have fun for a minute. Maybe it's an in-between roller coaster that you used to ride as a child that you used to love. Maybe it's simpler. Maybe you just want to go ride the ponies on the other side of the park. You get to choose. There's no judgment there. I'm just asking you to get on something, to get movement. Your lack of confidence is making you feel stuck, that you don't have clarity, you don't know where you're going, because you perceive what is being asked of you is bigger than you're willing to go. But you're in control. You get to choose what that first step is. And maybe someday you can ride that ring of fire with fear and joy, like those people that are on it now who are laughing. But you don't have to start there. Start anywhere. Start on a kiddie ride. There's nothing wrong with that. The end goal is for you to have fun, to allow yourself to experience the joy and bliss, and allow yourself to grow in confidence in your ability to ride the waves of life and have continuous movement. So I offer it again. I have 5 tickets for you to ride any ride in this carnival of fun. Which ride are you getting on? And I'm going to go with you. I will ride with you the first time, the second time, or third time, or fourth time until you are confident to ride alone. But my ask today is for you to get on and move with something. Just as Mordwin said, there's never a perfect time and there's never a perfect ride. You must get on something, move with something to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Maybe you ride the pony and it's too jolting and you want to go on something smoother. Say like walking through a fun house. It's time to participate in your life. And intend to have the confidence. And just intending to have the confidence, you will spark the true essence of confidence, and you will grow into those shoes. You don't have to step into those confident, big, bold shoes right now. I just need you to take baby steps. 1 foot in front of the other. Just start to move. Okay. The last card has a similar vein. This is courage. Like I said, it has a similar line to the confidence card. I am trying to lift you up. I'm trying to show you a different perspective. I'm trying to get you to see that it doesn't have to be this way, and it doesn't have to be hard. It's almost like he's in an ego format, and he's got the back of your, like the shirt, and he's trying to lift you off the ground. And I can just see like people putting stakes in the ground as you hold on for dear life. What are you truly afraid of? Do you not believe that this higher level of existence and the higher way of being that you are to become? Part of it is that some of you have been stuck on the ground for so long that you don't remember what it's like to be up in that upper atmosphere. So there's a little bit of fear, and that's okay. But really, I want you to go into what you fear. Where do you fear I or your other guides would take you? What do you fear they'll show you? Are you afraid that they'd show you the things that you've been hiding, the relationships that don't work, the jobs that you have that don't work, the things that you're doing that aren't in alignment with you, but you continue to do because it's just comfortable? Or are you afraid you would be led to do or say something that you don't want to do? I want you to know that you were made for this. This is what your soul was made for in this lifetime, to be courageous. And no one can get you across the finish line of courage. Only you can be courageous. So as the confidence dragon talked about the ring of fire ride, the courage dragon tells you, I'm going to get on that ride and I'm going to make the best of it and allow spirit to show me what it is I'm supposed to see in that ride. And not let fear stop you. And in that, you get off that ride and you think, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And that was crazy amazing. And you get to share your awesome experience with someone else and then inspire them to get on their own ring of fire to see their own truth. No one can ride that ride for you. I can't lift you up higher if you are got yourself grounded or cemented into the ground. There's no prerequisite. You just have to want it. You have to let go. You have to let go and let God fall into the trust fall of the universe and allow yourself to truly step into the journey to the unknown. And allow the wind with your higher self and unseen friends to guide you to where it is you're supposed to be going. And that takes courage. You're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for permission from me or source, your unseen friends, or yourself. You already know the time is here for you to step off that ledge and leap. I just want you to be honest with yourself about why you can't. And I'm here to inspire you to make that leap, to not analyze it, to try to figure it out. Instead, just let go. I have seen some of you let go. Now you're starting to allow me, the courage dragon, to bring you higher and higher. Allow yourself to honor the feelings that are coming up as the ground gets farther and farther away and the houses get smaller. Eventually you get to what looks like a clouded ledge, which is the next higher iteration of you, where your higher self lives. And as you allow yourself to be courageous up there and explore what it means to be this higher version of you, you will eventually start to be able to lower it down and ground it into your world, and your world will shapeshift to match it. But you have to go to it first, and that takes courage. Because it requires you to let go of all that no longer serves you. And in that, you make space to birth anew. Okay. So those are our 3 dragons for tonight. I thank them. Interesting messages, of course. They always have a humorous side for sure. Next week I'll be on. I'm going to try to figure out what the hell is happening with my video, my audio, my internet connection, so I don't have this problem. It's not just affecting this, it's affecting my ability to record podcasts as well as YouTube videos. So thank you for tonight, and I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.